for that, Dakota. If you're feeling a little tired today, you're not alone. We have
sure.
to jump an hour ahead for that daylight saving time.
But don't worry, you actually have permission, if not doctor's orders, to take a nap today. It's National Napping Day, and here to talk about, making the most of this opportunity and, trying to adjust the sleep schedule is Mercyhurst University professor, Dr. Amy Parente. Good morning, doctor. Thanks so much for stopping by this morning.
Of course.
I want to know from your perspective, how much of the daylight savings time kind of anxiety is in our heads and how much of it is, chemical in nature?
Oh, it's real. One of the most important cues for us sleeping is timing, and it's related to the sun exposure that we have. So when we sort of alter how quickly we are exposed to sunlight, that affects our melatonin production. It absolutely can have an effect on our sleep.
Okay, so break it down for us. This is 1 hour. Why does it feel so bad?
I don't know. I do think there is a social sort of component to this, or an anxiety component to it, but it is real. And we do know, particularly with the spring forward component, that there is a 20% increase in heart attacks and things like that. So it's a very real phenomenon that it seems like this springing forward and losing that hour of sleep has so much more of an impact than falling backwards.
Do we see, similar stats going the other way in places where they're not jumping back and forth twice a year in other countries around the world?
There has been well-controlled evidence that seem to suggest there is something about this day. Now, whether people are just more stressed because they know that they've woken up late or whatever, there's some things that may be contributing to it. But, more important is probably the fact that we adjust our sleep schedule by more than an hour on, a daily or weekly basis. We call this social jet lag, where people make the choice to say it's the weekend. I'm going to stay up much later and sleep in much later. And people don't seem to have as much of an effect from that, but social jet lag is a very real thing.
That's interesting. So what do we do? How do we make sure that we are healthy and taking care of ourselves?
So I like to say that there's the 5 T's of sleep. Timing is the first one, so trying to make sure that you go to bed and get up about the same time every day. Temperature is another one, trying to make sure that your kind of area that you're sleeping is nice and cool, that allows your core body temperature to cool down. Then we've got treats. We want to make sure that you're not eating too close to bedtime. We've got technology, because that's an artificial signal for sort of being exposed to things. And then we have treatment, and that's sort of making sure that there may be something that's physiologically going on that could be contributing to poor sleep.
Any idea on how long it can take us to kind of make that adjustment? Is it going to be a day, going to be a couple days, a week or two?
Now, in reality, they say if you were to, for example, have jet lag from travel, that it's probably 1 day for every 1 hour of sort of time zone difference. So it really shouldn't take us that long to adjust, but we do seem to take longer. We know if we have children, we know that it seems to take them a while to sort of get back into a regular sleep pattern.
Yeah, that's interesting though. But if you lose a couple of hours of sleep, on a day that you just stay up too late, wake up too early, that's a couple of days to get back to normal.
In theory, it should. So we should realize that if we feel not the same, and when we do that on the weekends, maybe that's our body trying to tell us something.
Dr. Amy Parente, Mercyhurst University professor, thanks so much for your input and your time this morning. And we're going to take a quick break, come back with more of Erie News Now Sunrise in 2 minutes.